Just gonna wait for some people to trickle in. As soon as people start trickling in, we'll be able to go live. We got one. We got some. Oh yeah, they starting to pile in now. We just waiting a couple seconds, letting some people trickle in before we go to our taped portion of the show, which we're gonna do live today, just to recap on some of the stuff we just covered with our guest. So y'all trickle in. At the end of this audio session, we'll do some Q&A for us, being this is the first show. This is the first Court of Public Opinion show. If y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, let us know. We'll take those from y'all at the end of the show. Whenever you're ready, brother.
All rise. The Honorable True Crew. Court is now in session. Now shut up! Yo, G, I got something to say.
All right, what's going on, everybody? My name is Larry Frederick. I'm joined by Brian Miller and Gene Thacker, and this is Court of Public Opinion Podcast. This is episode number 1. Our court is now in session. So, guys, without further ado, how was y'all weeks? How's y'all days panning out?
Go ahead.
Well, except for working 35 hours straight, catching criminals, getting no sleep. Hey, it's been a blast. You had a chance to go, you know?
Yeah,
see what it's
I
like.
went on my first official bounty hunt with Gene, and ended up catching somebody that was wanted for missing court, and
iPhone disconnected.
got some good feedback from that. Brian, how was your week?
My week's always the same, buddy. I get up and I get to bring my girlfriend to work, and then I get to like hang out and look for jobs and stuff.
Oh, fun. Always
Yeah.
fun.
It's been fun for a while. No, I ain't had a bad week. We did one episode of Talk Gumbo, and this is our first episode of Court of Public Opinion.
Yeah. So the Talk Gumbo came out pretty good. We're racking up some downloads on that, and getting some good views, some good feedback, stuff we could do differently, stuff that we can, keep the same or add in. Aside from that, I guess we'll go on and address the elephant in the room. We just had a guest, Paul from
Paul Libre.
Yeah, from Bikers Against Abuse International. We had some negative feedback, some positive feedback, some things we need to go back over and I guess read, make sure that the facts presented are accurate, and form a decision based on that. But all in all, I think that Paul was a very knowledgeable, very honest guest to be our first guest. What was y'all thoughts on the overall?
I've known Paul for a long time, and not trying to be biased, but I've seen Paul do a lot of good for a lot of people. I've seen Paul save a lot of kids, as well as help the police put a lot of bad people away. Paul was in an unfortunate situation where he made the wrong people mad. It got him caught up. Sometimes that happens, but he jumped back after he got in trouble. He jumped back on a horse, and basically he started the organization again, doing the same thing he was doing before. Obviously, they don't have a problem with him doing it because he's still doing it 3 years later. So
My comment to that is this: I don't know him, and I'm not going to have much to say on the cases that these people were trying to throw out to us in regards to Paul, because I'm in Louisiana, he's in Georgia, so I know nothing about that background. What I'll say is this: he didn't run from it.
I've never known
He
Paul.
sat right here during this live podcast, and he accepted what people said. He explained what the situations were. He never denied his arrests and what they were for. and he gave an explanation on it. I at least give him a lot of credit for that. And being the fact that he's somebody that is, for lack of a better term, investigating or looking into abuse cases, none of the charges had to do with him being an abuser. You know, so hey, I am one that says, and I told y'all when we started this, because of things from the past, when I did a podcast in the past, it's going to create controversy, which I'm not against, because controversy creates dialogue. And that's one of the problems we have in society, is that people don't want to talk about it. Talk about it.
The elephant in the room.
And the talking about it is just that. You're going to have good, you're going to have bad, you're going to have supporters, you're going to have haters. That's
You're
life.
right. And again, this is court of public opinion. We named the show that for a reason, because everybody's entitled to an opinion, whether it be negative or positive. But in that same argument, you have to understand that is exactly what it is. It's an opinion. Just because you're entitled to it doesn't mean that it's the right one. So we welcome it. We welcome all of y'all feedback. We welcome the negative. We welcome the positive. We welcome y'all to correct anything we say from episode 1, the duration of this show, no matter how long it lasts. If it lasts 10 shows, if it lasts 100 shows, if we get a contract from it, that's all great. But we welcome your interaction. We want your interaction. So to start this off, I'm going to go ahead and give out our email account for y'all to interact with us. If you are interested in being a guest on the show, if you have something to say about the guest that we have on the show, whether it be positive, negative, you have facts, you have anything like that, go to Gmail. Our email address is courtofpublicopinionpodcast@gmail.com. I'm going to be active on it as the editor of the show, so to speak. I am a co-host, but yes, I'm the editor of the show. Tattoo is the host of this show. He will be the creative director of the show. He will be the final say of what goes on the show. It is ultimately his show. Myself and Brian are co-hosts and creative, liaisons, so to speak. So again, Court of Public Opinion Podcast@gmail.com. Any insight, whether we're doing good, bad, horrible, you want to throw some facts in there, you want to be on the show, give us an example of what you would like to be interviewed about, anything, and we'll hear you out and try to get you on the show. But
I guess my problem with that interview was that you see a lot of people, like Brian mentioned. There's a lot of people that talk the talk, and there's a lot of people that walk the walk. He's walking the walk. He's saving kids. He's putting people behind bars. And these people that are commenting, they're just sitting there in the back seat while somebody else is driving. And I can't respect that. Until you're ready to get up there and do, then,
Well, my thing is with that, and I'm not going to go over the names again. We know the ladies, and apparently it was ladies. If you go by the name that they had and the picture that went with that name, it looked like ladies. But it could be guys under false names, as far as we know. My only issue is everybody was honest in regards to their background, including Paul. Like we said, even in his arrest, he was honest about his arrest. He didn't deny it.
right.
But then he or she or whoever was gonna email us and then doubt and question what we said about what we were in our past and former, and then give us another email that was smart aleck and say, well, are you going to answer me about what city you from, or to that effect? And
I think I answered that
we
very
answered
quickly.
that.
We did, but I'm
openly.
gonna also say this in the same sense. We don't owe y'all nothing. We are the host. We are the organization that has this going on. We don't. I don't owe you anything. We had a guest on that wanted to be interviewed because of things that he contributes to his public. He has an organization that defends victims of abuse of any age. He does something positive for his public. So we had him on the show because we want to spotlight somebody doing the right thing in public. That is part of the goal of this show. We want people in the limelight that's doing the right thing. He may have had a past. I guarantee, of all the viewers we have right now on the live, most of y'all got past too. I know I do. I got a past that I'm not too proud of. Brian's got a past that he's not too proud of. Tat's got a past he's not too proud of. But that doesn't define the person. People change.
Yeah, I've been married 5 times.
There's somebody I'm just looking, and I really don't like to do this while we're doing stuff. I hate being on the phone, but you asked if you're just tuning in and somebody told you watch the replay, but you asked about our background. I don't mind answering it again. I am a former law enforcement official, and it's been a while. I was on the job for close to 13 years. I was a sergeant in patrol here locally in Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. I was in the fire service for over 20 some odd years. I got in 1987 in the fire service. That was my most recent first responder job. I've been an independent professional wrestler. I've promoted independent pro wrestling shows, and I've done tons of other jobs in between all that. So that's my background.
I'll go ahead and say, just so people get a little bit more familiar with me, my name is Larry Frederick. I've been a fireman in Jefferson Parish now for 10 years. Prior to that, I dabbled in corrections with the sheriff's office. Didn't last really long in that. I didn't like the politics involved in it. And then I went to Southeastern Louisiana University and majored in psychology, minored in criminal justice. So I do have a little bit of knowledge in people and groups of people, because sociology falls within that bracket too. Tat, for people who don't know you, which is almost impossible at this point.
Well, whoever's asking that question, I hope you got a pen and paper, because you'll be here as long as I am old. I started out at 17. I went to the United States Air Force. Then I went to the United States Army. And I became a policeman with the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office. Then I became a bounty hunter and a bail bondsman. Then I became an ordained minister as well as a master life coach. I started all of that at the age of 17. Now I'm 50. Now, in that time I've been married 5 times, I got 0 kids, and I'm single.
Ladies, just saying, hit the DMs, Gene Thacker. It ain't Tattoo the Bounty Hunter all the time.
Yes, my real name is Gene Thacker.
And I heard that he can be charged multiple times for concealing a heavy artillery weapon in his pants. So, yeah. Anyway, we're gonna move on from that. A topic that I wanted to discuss tonight is the Olympics and the all of a sudden surge of mental health cases going on. We've seen Simone Biles withdraw from the Olympics, citing her own mental health, that she felt the weight of the world was on her shoulders, and things of that sort. So
I just did today, Paul.
what he got?
He said, and he uses Just for Men on his beard.
Oh boy! And I heard he does some strange stuff with lotion too, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so the Olympic Committee has come out and released a statement about the mental health of their athletes, and that they support the withdrawal. They got former athletes such as Michael Phelps, current athletes from the NBA and all over, supporting Simone Biles' exit from the Olympics, which they should. But further than that, during COVID, the Olympics, they have 0 crowd. The family's not allowed to. The family's not allowed to attend, and so there's no support for these athletes there. They're just doing this because they're the best at what they do. With being the best at what they do, certain expectations fall on them. But aside from that, just even in the Olympics, I mean, do y'all disagree with Simone Biles exiting the Olympics citing mental health reasons?
I'll let you go first.
I believe there's a lot of pressure. I mean, just everybody has their own reasons for making their own decision. I would say that by the reasons she gave, I would say yes. I agree. I mean, she made it that far. I mean, she has nothing to prove to anybody.
Right.
You make it that far. I mean, whatever reason you may have to back out.
Right, and then I didn't even mention the fact that they want to basically dumb down her grade because she's so much better than everybody else. Is that not the point of the Olympics?
Yeah, well, that was going to be my answer to it is, of course, I don't think we all know the full story. You get in bits and pieces here, but prior to her backing out came the story that the IOC, the judging committee for the Olympics, advised her that they would not give her full credit or full points for her routine because she was so good that they felt it was a danger for the other athletes to try to imitate what she does. And I was like,
She does it.
So my thing is of course that's going to add anxiety to her. She's just trained for however long to go and compete in these Olympics. Now she's told you cannot get full credit. So if the full credit is a 10, you will not achieve that. Even if you are good enough to get that, we're not going to give it to you. We're going to give you, let's say, a 7. So I'm sure in her mind she felt like, well, how can I compete on a team level? I can actually hurt my team. Where if I sit back, my team's, the score they're going to get is going to be a legit score.
And they proved that in the
And
all-around
they did.
competition.
That's right.
The one of the girls got gold.
And if her not wanting to, because you know, the three of us we've pissed off people at higher levels than us.
Oh, Jesus.
If her actions of not wanting to make the judges or future competitions hard on her to say, oh, well, I'm backing out because I have an injury and I don't want to hurt myself worse. If that's what she had to do, to me, unless more information comes out, I'm solely basing my decision on what's come out so far. If she had to bite the bullet, to me, she's a team player.
That's kind of like saying, in a crazy sort of way, that's like saying back in the day when Nolan Ryan was the fastest pitcher around. Okay, you pitch 101 mile an hour fastball, but you can't do that.
That's right.
We're
You can
telling
only
you
throw
can't.
at 77
Exactly.
so guys can hit it. Right.
Exactly. So, yeah, I have a problem with that.
I guess the Olympics is going to turn into what they call around here. Everybody gets a participation trophy.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just going to hand out participation medals. From
Instead of gold or silver or bronze, it's going to be plastic.
Right.
They'll just hang plastic around your neck.
I mean, that's my. Do I think these athletes at that level have enough anxiety? Sure. I mean, all three of us at a very younger age, even though you're a lot younger than us, Larry, all three of us at a younger age competed in athletics at some level, and it is.
Oh, I did too.
It is a anxious thing, you know, preparing for it, going out and doing it.
Hell, this is an anxious thing, preparing to do this.
Yeah.
Just getting these shows prepared, just getting ready for these shows. I mean,
Yes.
it's
So
anxiety level.
add to it that not only is she going to compete, so you're anxious about the competition itself, but then who are they representing?
All her life, you think about it, she's been training to be the best. So when you are the best, they're saying, no, you can't be the best.
Right, but my thing is it's not that she's going out there and just representing herself, which she is, but she's representing her coach, her team, and her country.
Right.
Her country. And that's a big to do, I would assume. I don't know how much pressure it is because I've never gotten the opportunity to represent my country on that level, but I'm sure it is a heavy burden.
I mean, all eyes are on you, basically. Joe, I do agree, man. For you to train your whole life to be the best and then get told you won't get scored as high as you would have being the best, I would have supported if she'd have walked out at that point also. I can agree with you there. But I think I got a little ahead of myself or ourselves on the show. We have segments planned out. Just the way that the way that our guest made such an impact on the viewers, we decided to jump straight into a show. We're supposed to, well, I say supposed to. We don't supposed to do nothing, but we intended on starting the show off with a prayer, something uplifting for y'all, something to relax, and then get into a little comedic sense of something, just to kind of raise the morale in the room, and then talk about some sensitive topics like this. But I will say, just speaking on from our guest, man, I couldn't have asked for a better guest for our first show. That was more than what I expected, and those of y'all who are still tuning around to listen to this part of the show, we really appreciate it. Our goal in this is really just to entertain. It's not even.
It's more than entertain. We want to entertain, but what we want to do is create dialogue. Hopefully, in the topics that we have, it's informative and it helps somebody that's out there. And then it also, we want to give you a voice to those that don't have a voice. I don't mind being the voice. I mean, I'm not Sean Hannity, but I think I could be.
Well, and I talk a lot. If you haven't noticed, I'm not the host of the show again. This is Tattoo's show. He just he can't say it with his chest. So we take over for him.
I talk very, very light, I guess.
Yeah, he talks like he's in a room by himself, speaking to himself.
Until I'm banging on that door, right?
Right, yeah. When he's banging on the door and giving you 15 seconds to open,
That's a whole different story.
he might be a little loud. Just a tad loud at
Tell the
2
truth. He only
o'clock.
speaks loud because he's got a big gun.
There you go.
Like I said, but no, Tad, do you want to explain some visions you have for this show? Some things that you want to do, people you want to bring on, any kind of topics, anything for the people, just to better understand what this show's goal is?
Basically, what we're planning on doing is bringing as many people on the show as we can, and people have reached out to us recently about getting their stories out about being victims of.
Reading that last comment, bro. I ain't trying to cut you off. But Bath Wars.
Oh,
Do you want to interrupt the goal of this show to talk about Bath Wars?
No, but I'll answer for him, Paul. You going back to the days when he used to have the rubber ducky.
Yeah, but he's the one back in the days that put the voodoo with the dog, and we used to take bubble baths, like.
Not
Hold
together.
on, wait.
Not
Yeah,
together.
don't.
Okay.
No.
It wasn't no weed.
No.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I took a bubble bath with my ducks. He took a bath with voodoo alligators and stuff.
Okay.
And we shared videos back and forth. There was wars on Facebook.
Listen, I just talked to Paul tonight for the first time,
Right.
and I've known you for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and suggest it. Voodoo dolls and ducky, y'all need counseling.
No, he
Help.
was that.
Hell, that's all I'm going to tell you. And I know you listening, Paul. You need it too, buddy.
Hey, look, my ducks are right there, bro.
Shut up.
They're right there.
I don't care.
I see a revival of
We need to
Bath
sing that
Wars
prayer.
coming here.
That prayer you talked about,
Yeah,
we need to sing.
We need to go back. Once you open your Bible, we're gonna
But we plan on, there's been people reaching out, and our goal is to let their voice be heard. And their voice be heard because some people don't have closure, nor do they have an answer to what has happened to them, whether they've lost someone dear to them because of a crime, or drugs, or alcohol, or whatever. And they want to be heard. Their voices want to be heard. And this is a platform for those people to be heard.
Absolutely.
That's what I said.
It's not only
Be the voice.
only a platform for them, but it's a platform for you all to become involved. Again, whether it be negative or positive. We just had an hour-long live with an individual who does good, has an organization to provide good service, and still had negative feedback. Again,
But he stood up. He faced
did.
it.
He did. But more or less what I'm getting at is when we have these people come on, and we have quite a few people wanting to share stories, whether it be rape victims that just want to share their experience, or unsolved cases where a murder may have took place. This is going to be kind of true crimey. It's going to be a little true crimey, but we want y'all opinions too, because where we all share some intellect and start to develop a sense of what's going on, y'all may be able to offer us a concept or an idea that we didn't think about. So we may be able to come on to something and, you know, solve some of these things where we're not trying to be detectives and we're not working with the police. This is all people coming on the show on their own fruition, wanting to talk about things that really affected them, similar to our guest tonight, who was very open about the things that happened in his past. And without hesitation shared that with you all. He didn't do that for clout. He didn't do that for your sympathy. He did that so that you better understand his reasoning for doing the things that he did. So,
along with everybody else that's going to come on with the show, they're doing it on their own free will, and they're telling their own stories.
right.
You know, we're here to listen. We're here to provide that voice to be heard worldwide.
Like I said, like we want the if you need a voice and this is it. This is the place to come.
Right. Tom, I'm glad we're live because I would have technical difficulties right now. But I don't know where we left off, and this thing stopped picking up stuff. So, actually it didn't. So, that's
Actually,
my bad.
actually one too.
But yeah, y'all keep going. That's fine.
But yeah, the Bath Wars were a time in the past. It was a fun time. There was a lot of crazy things.
Holy shit. Sorry.
And
That was loud, bro.
yeah, well, we're still. You gotta forgive us because we're still going through the
Listen, I told you I went to school for psychology and criminal justice, not technology.
He's an English buff, so don't misspell anything you're typing on that screen because I'm gonna tell you what, he will go back and correct you.
Is Megan live? Is she on it? Did
Who?
you see her join?
Who?
Grammar Nazi.
And I saw what you
Oh.
said. I saw what you said about yeah, you're the grammar Nazi, but she's also the professional car stealer.
Yeah, she is known to steal a car too.
So she wants to go on a bounty hunt. She'll go on a bounty hunt by herself with a car. Unfortunately, that one time it was my car.
You let her do
All
it.
I know
I
is
didn't let her do
Y'all-
anything.
y'all bragging about y'all. They telling y'all about their educational background, sociology, criminology. Tell the truth. You went to school for I&I, intercourse and intoxication, and you
don't drink.
failed.
I don't drink.
I believe it or not, I was playing baseball at first and ended up getting hurt and couldn't do it anymore. So
Now,
then
when
the
you-
intoxication may have came in.
Knowing when you went to college and then saying you got hurt, was you physically hurt or they hurt your feelings? Because you know today it's I
was
quit because they hurt my feelings.
physically hurt. I got slid into at second base and tore cartilage all the way through my
So you
knee.
slid into second base. And
I wish I was sliding into more second bases back then, but no.
Well, I mean, that's first base, second base. You didn't get past second base.
I was playing second base
Oh,
and got
he
slid
didn't say that at
into it.
first.
Right.
I mean, most of us hit home runs, but he only got to second base.
Again, I'm playing defense, assholes. But anyway,
hey, that word is saved for that lady that texts us in all the time, Adrian.
But that's pointing towards you.
yeah,
Why you gotta
he's
point that
the
out?
asshole.
Why you gotta point that out?
I guess I'm the asshole now.
What we got? Let's see.
Guess I'm sure she's listening, and I'm sure it'll be texted to us any minute now.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to see if we got any negativity in the chat. My bad.
So, what do y'all think? You know, it's all controversy now. So, what is it?
No,
What do y'all
it's not
think
all
about-
controversy.
What do you think about the $100? You're gonna take $100
From who?
from the president?
No.
He's gonna give $100 out if you get the vaccine.
Who's?
Why would I do that when I could enter into $1 million lottery in
I don't know
Louisiana?
about y'all million. You're talking about looking at the feedback that we're getting.
Yeah.
I would just ask, unless I missed something from beforehand, Melissa, I don't know what you mean by railroaded.
I didn't get railroaded. Ain't nobody railroaded
No,
me.
it said, I pray no one else gets railroaded like I did. I don't know what she means.
What
by
you
that.
referring to? We can talk about it. Look, this is a show that we're kind of going off the cuff because we ain't doing it by segment. We're not doing it organized like we're supposed to. This is literally
Oh, she gave the answer. She said tattoo does.
this is literally a submission
Friend of
show
yours.
for us, so that we can take this show, submit it to our streaming services, and get it approved, so that y'all can go back and listen and get us the ratings that I hope we're gonna get. Aside from this, we do Brian Show Talk Gumbo. We just released our first show on that. We're on all major streaming platforms. I'm happy to say that already. True Crew Podcast, which is, I'm going to do a brief recap every week of both of the other two shows, and then give some feedback and maybe allow for a Q&A in regards to both shows with mine. So, and that's on all streaming platforms as well. This is just the newest of shows. So what we got? Y'all want to elaborate on something?
I just was questioning Melissa, but she gave the answer. She
She's
said
saying I
tattoo
know.
does, but I
I'm
don't know her.
trying to.
Paul said Gene needs a girlfriend. Put up some parts for him on here. No, we can't bring Blade out. Blade will destroy.
Actually, I'm not scouting for a woman, Melissa. I'm not. Actually, it was a joke. Actually, I've been single for almost 4 years. I've only been in 2 short relationships. But with this seriousness of a show, you have to break up the monotony sometimes. I know you've been a very nice friend, and you checked on me a lot, and I appreciate it.
I will say that the live interview with Paul was supposed to be audio recorded, and because we did it the way we did it on Facebook Live, I wasn't able to get that audio, so that's going to strictly have to be a video thing. Like I said, this is going to be a well thought out show, and everything audio tracked from this episode further. This was an off-the-cuff live and audio session that we decided to do to get submitted to these large streaming platforms. So again, any concepts, any topics, any advice, any corrections, anything like that, now's the time for y'all to do it. I'm gonna open it up to question and answer now, because I really don't.
Yes, and they can call in too, right?
They sure can, and
Give the number. Anybody wants to call in?
I ain't giving y'all my number. You can message the page, and I'll call you. Leave me your number. I'll call you, but I ain't just gonna put my number out there. I don't. My wife be tripping. So.
Yeah, especially when you don't have him home at 2 o'clock in the morning when he gets home at 4.
Well,
But that was.
you
he
brought
didn't-
up the Paul thing again. I mean, we still having a lot of negative
Trailers.
things going back and forth with that. And
You
I would
done,
just
you
say
done drug your negative people
tonight-
into our show. What's wrong
tonight
with you?
was the first episode, and it involved Paul. And I would say there'll probably be part 2 of Paul.
Yes,
That's
definitely.
something. Yeah. If not next episode, an episode very shortly.
Coming shortly, correct.
The thing about what we plan on doing with these unsolved cases and rape abuse victims and things like that is that's not going to be a one show thing. That takes multiple shows to get all that information out, digest it, figure out mentally where we're all at, and then offer some input on it. So I hope that very soon we can get Paul back, and I know he's game just by the interaction in this. I hope we can get him back in it, at least, if not.
They want me to bring out Blade.
Hey, bring him out. If not, shed some light on the topics that were discussed tonight. We could go back and forth. I'll have whoever them people were claiming to be come on at the same time as Paul and have them hash it out.
Well, that I would like to.
We can do that too.
I would like to ask Gene this. Not only Paul come on, but maybe Paul can get 1 or 2 of the members of the organization to come on also, and let them also speak on, if Paul is willing. I mean, it's
I'm
his
sure he
organization,
would.
but
I'm sure he would. But if you look in the comments, there's a bunch of
I'm seeing it
actually
now.
female when the woman, whatever her name was, accused him of, I guess, misappropriation with some of the members or whatever it was. Those female members spoke up for Paul and said,
Right.
I'm a member and he's never done anything to me or acted inappropriately in any way.
Oh, Lord have mercy. But it's really a damn shame that you just gotta, the entire time, just negativity. Like, you gotta hate yourself as a person. You ain't got nothing positive to say at all. Who hurt you? Was it him? I mean, let's. You got fat.
Well, by the time of the end
if
of the
you
show,
got fat, bring it out. I keep trying to say that.
By the time of the end of the show, not only Paul is going to be on her page, so are you, and so am I.
On whose page?
On whatever her page.
Amanda person.
Amanda. We're all going to be top enemy. Paul 1, and we're going to be 2, 3, and 4.
I don't care.
I don't care, but
I don't know this person.
And Paul's heard me say it earlier. I don't know him. I went off of him being a guest, and I think I asked some pretty pointed questions, as did y'all. And the man never shied away from it. I give him credit for that. He never ran and hid. He spoke up front.
I'm just saying, if he's such a monster,
And you're very. Let me say this
how many people did he save?
real quick. 1 second. You're pretty good at interviewing people. You're used to it. He didn't even hesitate.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Usually, if you tell a lie, you're gonna hesitate.
Yeah, you got to think about what you said the first time to make it the second time.
Exactly. He was very just straightforward. Just it is what it is.
I didn't have a single issue with that entire interview.
No, not at all. And to reiterate again, if you got something that you know for a fact that's on him, come on the show and bring it to us. I'll do an interview with you too and let you speak.
And again, public record, trust me, we're pros at public record at this point. Some of it'll mean something, some of it won't mean nothing to me. You have to prove he's a monster. If he was such a monster and doing these monstrous things that y'all are claiming he's done, why isn't he in jail now? Why'd they let him out? Why, if he had that big of a negative influence on the public, why is he not still incarcerated to some extent? That's something y'all got to think about too. I'm hearing you. I hear you. Everybody's gonna have something negative to say, or not everybody, but some people. Some people will have something negative to say. But at the end of the day, he's not incarcerated. He's out here with his free will, telling everything that he believes to be true. Again, court of public opinion. That is his opinion. His opinion is he didn't do anything wrong. He gave you his story of what happened, what he did, what he's doing currently, and it is what it is. So, I mean, without fact, if you had fact, we're not the people you need to be bringing it to.
Right.
You don't owe me an explanation of anything. If you have fact that he's such a monster and he's doing these monstrous things to people, bring it to your local authorities and have them do an investigation. Because maybe he does need to be locked up. But I highly doubt it, because he has been to prison. He served his time for the crimes that he was alleged of doing, and then he is out. He is not incarcerated.
He pissed off the wrong people. That's what happened.
And everybody does. Look at me. I'm without a show now. I pissed off the wrong people. But at the end of the day,
You got a show. You're
well,
right.
yeah. I mean, I lost one game too. It is what it is.
But it says, you know what? Hey,
But everybody's got their own opinion, which is why we named the show Court of Public Opinion.
and that was by accident too. Remember?
It really was. It come up in a.
I had
For
shirts
those
made, everything.
that don't know, it was supposed to be elevations and revelations.
Yeah.
We were supposed to take information and give you an uplifting outlook on it, maybe give you an avenue to talk about some stuff, and then the revelation aspect is you understanding and comprehending what it is that you was actually going through and being able to deal with it effectively. That was the goal for the show. That was the show. It was elevation.
Shirts made, everything.
All right. I mean, we had merchandise started. We had people very interested in it, and then in a conversation, excuse my French, but I said the Court of Public Opinion is a motherfucker.
Yeah. And I said, that's it. That's what we're going with.
And we couldn't name it the second half of that comment.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
of course
well,
not.
you could have. You could have. They got some very, very vulgar things on the Spotify's and Pandoras of the world. But
I know TikTok does.
well,
I'm learning this. I'm brand new at TikTok, and I'm hooked.
so all right, I'll play on that.
Well, it does segue, I guess, back to the first show of Talk Gumbo.
That's what I was
talked
alluding to.
social media.
That was the
And
topic.
the topic on the first episode of Talk Gumbo was social media, the good and the bad, how some people use it for good to put information out, and how some people are using it for bad, and in the wrong way. In brief, we don't need to go into it totally, but in brief, like,
And some
you
people-
have government officials at all levels telling people to quit listening to the internet with its false information about getting vaxxed. And then the very next post they put out on their social media outlet is, go get vaxxed.
Oh.
Because of this. So it's like, who's right and wrong? I don't fault people for the use of the internet. The government's telling you not to use social media. Well, let's look at it. Every government
One of those.
Every government official has a personal Facebook page, a political Facebook page, and or like Jefferson Parish. Not only am I a councilman for Jefferson Parish and I have my councilman page, but then I'm part of the Jefferson Parish social media Facebook page. Hello? You're telling us not to listen to it the whole time you're using it.
My whole thing is.
You're right.
My whole thing is this.
That's the smartest thing I've seen on this in the entire time. Don't you
Why?
know the internet is always correct?
Well, everybody that. Well,
If it's not on the internet, then it's not true.
it's not true. But you see, my point is this. Okay, they're pushing vaccine. But yet, I just read.
To a topic that's tough.
I just read the other day the article I sent you where a lady was fully vaccinated. She
Still
died.
died.
Well, now they're saying, there was an article today saying that that the strains of COVID now are going around the vaccinations. So you know what? I'm going to tell you how I feel. You ain't sticking nothing up my nose, because if you try to stick it up my nose, I'm going to stick it where the sun don't shine. And that's the God honest truth. Okay? And I'm not getting no shot.
I'm going to use an example like this because there was a local councilman that had put out about you've had dozens of vaccines before, what's one more? Back in the days, and my girlfriend is old enough to have, back in the day when she was born, she got the vaccination in the
Exposed you.
home. You got the booster shot. My brother got the booster shot. But what they didn't offer parents back then, they didn't say, listen, if you let us give these series of shots to your kid, we'll enter you into the $1 million lottery. If you come over here and take this vaccination in 1940, we'll give you $100.
Well, that's what the president
What
said
are
today,
they
$100.
What are they doing today with today's? And listen. First and foremost,
What the hell's $100
I,
gonna do?
I, Brian Miller, am not against those that got the vaccination and those that don't want to get the vaccination. It's their human right and choice.
I had to wind him up.
Mine. Who you wound up? Me?
Yeah, I had to wind you up.
I'm good.
Me?
I'm reading comments.
I haven't gotten the vaccination, not because I'm against it. I'm diabetic. I take other medications. I want my doctor to tell me that vaccination and the medicine or whatever is in it is not going to counteract what I'm already on. I don't want a councilman, a parish president, the president, a senator, congressman, or anybody else that's not a doctor to tell me I have to get it. That's my only comment on it.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this too, and again, I don't want to speak out of line because this is Tattoo's show.
No, speak.
People who feel entitled, listen, you are entitled to an opinion, but if you are hanging around, and this is episode 1. If you're a newcomer following us, this ain't our first time doing a show, but if you're a newcomer that just came today and you don't like the content that we're talking about, by all means, you cannot follow this page. It's perfectly fine. We have hundreds of others that will.
Oh, you can follow it, but
Or you can follow it and be pissed off when we entertain your negativity and then flip it back on you.
or what was said. So just
No, nothing. I'm just saying. I'm just with the
Gotta get it off
with the
your chest.
negativity. Yeah, I just got to
Get
get
it.
that out now.
Okay.
Don't be pissed off when your opinion ain't the only one that matters. We gonna come back. We gonna say some shit. It's just the way it is. You got an opinion, so do I. And just because yours ain't right, don't mean mine's right either. I might think you're an asshole, and you might think I'm stupid. So that's the way it's gonna roll from this point forward.
Kind of like the person, we were talking about earlier that goes watch other, TV shows.
She has been a big topic on this, and she's in the
No,
same. I just want to put this out there. The individual that we're speaking of, this girlfriend, is in the same room as us right now, within throwing distance of any heavy object in the room. Just want to put that out there. Somebody getting hit.
But you know what? The
Ain't
problem
nobody getting
is,
hit. I'm protected. I'm between the both of y'all.
yeah, he's between us, and there's a microphone in front of him. So if anybody gets hit first, it's gonna be me.
I'm getting out of the way. I might push somebody in the way if it comes to it. I'm not gonna lie to you. But
I think in all of it, because I know we getting close to the end. I think,
yeah, we gonna go ahead and
I
wrap it.
think
in a
what we
minute.
should do is this. Whether it's, I think any topic, I've always tried to, when I've been involved in it, if we've had negativity, I try to finish on a positive note. So I think we should finish tonight's show like we wanted to start tonight's show.
I just stole
And
it
that
right out
is
of my mouth.
say a prayer, put some blessings out there to the people that are listening, and then even those that aren't, to those that like us and even those that don't, and try to end this on a positive note and come back next week with our next two shows.
Sounds good to me. You got something in mind, brother?
Yeah, basically what I was telling Paul earlier, and this has been weighing on my mind a lot. People talk about battles, whether it be drugs, alcohol, viruses, things they're fighting within their minds. A lot of people don't realize that, their belief in God is a big thing. In Isaiah 54:17, it says, "No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of servants of the Lord, and the righteous is me, said the Lord." Now, with that being said, it says, "No weapon formed against thee shall prosper, and no tongue shall rise against thee. In judgment thou shalt condemn." Basically, it's not saying the weapon won't be formed. The weapon will be formed. Things you got to do in life are, you really need to follow the word. You need to have faith. You need to walk in the Holy Spirit. And the thing about with that is this: it's a long walk. It's a hard walk because we tend to rely on our own selves. And when you start to rely on God first, then the rest of your life will fall into place. So to each and every one of y'all that are listening tonight, I ask you, reach out to the Lord, talk to the Lord, accept the blessings that He gives us each and every day, and understand that He will not leave you nor forsake you. We're all His children, and He loves us all. Y'all have a blessed night.
And to all you people who are negative out there, go get some penis. Penis. P-E-N-I-S. Research it. Google it. Maybe diddle yourself, because y'all got some badass attitudes. Just to lift that mood up a little bit.
I
You
don't know about
anything?
lifting the mood up. The man just said a prayer, and you come back with that.
Get some blessed penis.
I just wish everybody to have a good night, be safe, and if you tuned in tonight, hopefully you'll be tuning in on the next show.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to sign off. I think it's been a great show. Court of Public Opinion. We're going to be doing shows, if not once a week, twice a week. Talk Gumbo's coming up next. After True Crew, I'm going to do the weekly wrap-up, so to speak. Again, for those of you who may have not caught it in the beginning of this live session, you can reach out to us if you want to be a guest on the show, if you want to correct something on the show, give us some facts, give us some opinion, give us some topics, anything like that. You can go to quarterpublicopinionpodcast@gmail.com, submit an email to us. We'll get to it tentatively, get back to you, let you know what we think. Also follow us all on social media. We got the Quarter Public Opinion Podcast page, Talk Gumbo page, we got the True Crew page. We all have YouTube channels that the lives will be posted to, so that you can go back and cross-reference your facts. We are going to be submitting this show, even though we kind of went off on a little tangent and wasn't really organized. We're going to be submitting this show for approval for all streaming networks. For now, Spotify is going to be your main one. Or you can go to buzzsprout.com and look up Quarter Public Opinion Podcast. It'll give you a link. You'll be able to listen to it there. And we will continuously update the Facebook pages whenever we get approved to all the different streaming services. We are working on some video streaming outlets. That way we stream to every major video source. As soon as that gets brought up and approved, we'll start doing that, submit it to y'all. Other than that, like they said, hope y'all have a blessed one. In all seriousness, we hope y'all stick around. All our new followers, all our new fans, we really appreciate y'all. And you got something to say?
And now, court is adjourned.
Hallelujah. Y'all have a good night.
I think that was fun.